So I'm sure when you think of the most important things or the keys to weight loss success, you probably think it's about the right kind of a diet, following the right exercise plan, but I'm telling you, it's what's up here that actually matters. And I mean, I used to think it was kind of like 50-50 mindset and the physical side of things. I really truly believe it's more like 75-80% mental and then 20-25% the physical of what you do. Because there really is practically an infinite amount of ways to do this stuff. There's so many diets you can follow. Every diet with a name out there shows plenty of examples of people with success. There's so many ways to exercise. There's almost endless possibilities. But if you keep letting your mindset and your emotions get in your way, it's almost a winless battle. And I really do believe the biggest thing that's keeping you from seeing success is making your decisions based off emotions instead of things like logic and habits and rituals. It's thinking things like, well, I've already screwed up my diet, it's taking too long anyways, so what's the point? I have too far to go, I'm too old, it's too hard. All the things you tell yourself that keeps you from following your plan. You really need to start being kinder to yourself. Stop beating yourself up because you do things that make you, I don't know, human. All the worrying, all the second guessing yourself and talking yourself out of things. All the self-doubt, the fears, the fear of failing, the fear of succeeding, the fear of everything under the sun. You need to be able to get out of your own head if you ever want to see success. And hey, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. Almost everybody struggles with this stuff. It's just nobody talks about it. You don't go online and go on social media and hear people talking about how much they struggle. No, it all looks like it's this great thing and it makes it feel like there's something wrong with you. I promise there isn't. And the truth is, it's hard to be objective with yourself. It's easy to give advice to other people. It's hard to follow through with those things for yourself because you are attached to your own mind. And if this is something you've always struggled with, go to my website, ColinDeWaayTraining.com, fill out an application for online coaching, because sure, it's great to be able to have a plan, to get set up and know you're doing the right things, but honestly, the biggest part of having a coach is being able to let go of all the worrying about making the wrong decisions, second guessing yourself, all the self-doubt, all the stuff I just talked about. When you hire me as your coach, now that stuff is my responsibility, and you can take that burden off your shoulders. Anyway, another big part of creating any success is not getting so tied up in the speed of your result. This is an absolute killer. I see it all the time. It's all these expectations you place on how you think things should go, even if they're unrealistic to begin with. And hey, I get it. You want certainty. This is just like human stuff. Like, we want certainty as people, but there's really no such thing. It's kind of the opposite of what the real world gives us. Things aren't always going to be, and very rarely are, black and white. Things are very rarely right and wrong, and that goes for diet and exercise as well. So when you tell yourself, if I do this, then I should get that result, and getting so caught up on that when it doesn't go as well as you thought, now you get really disappointed, you get frustrated. The more frustrated you get, the less likely you are to stick to the plan. When you stop sticking to the plan, your results get even worse and you get even more frustrated, and it just snowballs into this huge thing that gets you so in your own head and so upset that eventually you just end up giving up, and you come back over and over with this yo-yo dieting, all or nothing mentality, and you just stay stuck forever. The truth is, it's not about picking the right plan. It's about being on a plan, being consistent with that plan, then adjusting based on how that plan is going. Because even if you do have the right plan, eventually that's going to stop working. Your body's going to adapt, and you're going to have to be able to adjust and not get so frustrated because you hit a plateau. This is normal stuff. So it's more important to trust that as long as you keep going, you will eventually get there, and accept that it doesn't matter how long it takes. You have to do this stuff for the rest of your life. There's no such thing as just doing something until you lose the weight and then being done. If you're ever done, you will just gain the weight back. So please, 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 don't convince yourself not to do it because of the result. Follow the plan regardless of the result, and then when it's time to adjust, adjust. All right, another big one here. Make sure you always accept reality for what it is, and don't let it become your reason why you can't do it. Stuff is always going to happen in life. All these obstacles and circumstances that come, things that make it seem unfair, that make it really hard and frustrating. I get it. It's difficult. But if there's nothing you can do about it, then letting that stop you from doing what is necessary to get where you want to be, like I said, it's just kind of your reason why you can't do it now. But there's always going to be somebody with a similar circumstance that did it. It just comes down to how you choose to handle it. Remember, the stories you tell yourself, sure, it makes today easier, but the discipline to put in work in the tough times now make today harder, yes, but it makes the future better. And please, don't compare to others. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You don't know anything about their lives, and it's irrelevant to you. The only thing you have control over is your own life. You need to focus on that and not let yourself get down because somebody else is doing better or has an easier time or easier life or whatever it may be. Focus on doing what you need to do. Everything else is just noise. All right, I kind of touched on this a little bit already, but I want to get a little bit deeper into it, and that is sustainability, right? Whatever you're going to do, it has to be something that you're going to be able to keep doing. If it's just this mad dash to the finish line, or you're doing something you completely hate, just trying to get the weight off, it's just not going to end well. Even if you do end up getting there, what are you going to do when it's done? I can tell you already, you're going to gain the weight back. So this means not banning all your favorite foods, not falling into the all or nothing perfectionist mindset. So focus more on finding exercise that you enjoy. It might not be something you love all the time, but it shouldn't be something that you hate. Same thing goes with your diet. Bottom line is, whatever you're gonna do, it has to be something you can keep doing. Okay, this next part, if this is something that you do and really take to heart, I promise it will change everything for you. And that is taking away the optional component to this lifestyle, making it non-negotiable. This is something you have to do, and saying, that's it, I'm doing it, and it doesn't matter if I feel like it or not. The problem is, if you don't feel like you have to do it, then you're only gonna do the work when you're motivated. You're gonna only do it when it feels convenient, but anytime any challenge comes up, you're just gonna be done. And I hear it all the time. Well, I need to just stop now until I can give 100%. And then it's like, every few months, you can't give 100%, and you're never gonna get anywhere. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, and there's times to be more flexible and less flexible. And honestly, one of the biggest parts of long-term success is learning how to navigate those ups and downs in different situations in life, again, without falling into all or nothing. But the harsh truth is, it's honestly more important what you do when you're unmotivated than it is what you do when you are motivated. Everyone does great when everything lines up and you're feeling motivated and life is settled down. It's easy to do great then, but what happens when you get the challenges? The challenges aren't gonna stop, right? Like, you're gonna get these until the day you die. I hate to say that, but it's true. Like, that's just life. It's always gonna have the ebbs and flows and ups and downs. Because if you think about it, there's always things in your life that you basically almost always do, regardless if you feel like it or not. Like, you don't always feel like going to work, but you do it anyways, right? Because you feel like you have to do it. Things with family, you have to do these things, so you always do it. Until your fitness goals, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, become one of the things that you feel like you have to do, you're always going to take that out anytime it gets inconvenient. And one of the best analogies I think that might help you kind of understand this a little better, think about like you're driving home from work and you come across a roadblock. There's a big sign that says road closed, detour this way. And you see that and like, crap. And you know it's going to be a long one, right? It's going to take you, a half hour out of the way, a half hour back again. It's going to take forever. Well, you don't just sit in front of the roadblock and go, well, it's going to take longer and it's going to be harder, so now I can't get home. No, you have to get home, so you take the detour. It's harder, it takes longer, but you still get home. Same thing goes with your fitness goals. Things are going to come up that are going to make it harder, that are going to make it take longer. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. It just is going to be a little bit more difficult. But you take that detour and you can still get there eventually. As long as you don't get too tied up in that result and the speed, you will get there. I promise you, as long as you keep going. All right, all that being said, you still are probably wondering, okay, like, well, how the heck do I lose weight though? Like, what should I do? Well, I have a video that I did a while back that honestly I think is one of the best videos. It's definitely my best video anyways, in terms of how to go from the start of your diet all the way to the end, from starting calories, how much exercise, how to make adjustments when you hit plateaus. So if you're interested, check that one out next up top. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead, and I'll see you in one of those other videos.